Problems are invitations. Yes, invitations. They call you, they pull at you, asking, sometimes whispering, sometimes shouting, look beyond, look deeper, come up higher, let that sink in. Right now, the issues you're wrestling with aren't here to break you down. They're here to break you open. They're here to expand you. They're spiritual doorways, and if you're willing to step through, there's a gift behind each challenge. Think about it. How often do we run from our problems, shove them aside, or let them drain our energy? But what if we shifted our perspective and viewed them as sacred teachers? What if every difficulty was a divine opportunity to learn, to rise, to transform? Problems aren't curses. They're the universe's way of tapping you on the shoulder, saying, there's more to you than this situation. There's a higher level you're meant to reach. Here's a hook your obstacles. They're not in the way, they are the way. Now picture this, you're standing at the base of a mountain. It looks massive, overwhelming. It's covered in mist. That's your current problem right there. And you think, how am I ever going to get over this? But here's the thing, you don't have to know every detail of the journey before you take the first step. You don't have to see the whole path, you just have to trust that with every step you take, the next will be revealed. It's about faith. It's about stepping forward, even when you can't see the top. Remember this, your problems are a call to shift your awareness. They invite you to elevate your spiritual perspective. Here's what I mean by that. Imagine your consciousness is like a... Every difficulty brings with it a spiritual assignment. It's like a message wrapped in challenge, asking, will you choose love over fear? Will you choose trust over doubt? Will you awaken to the higher part of yourself? When you see it that way, problems don't seem so random or cruel anymore. They become purposeful, even sacred. Here's a personal example. Imagine you're going through financial difficulties. Bills are piling up. You feel stressed, overwhelmed. The temptation is to spiral into anxiety, to shrink your thinking, to feel lack in every cell of your body. But what if, instead, you treated this experience as a spiritual lesson in abundance and trust? What if you saw this financial problem as a doorway to practicing generosity, even in small ways? What if it was a chance to trust that life will always provide for you, even when the outer evidence seems to scream the opposite? That shift is the work. That shift is the work. That shift transforms everything. Now, here's another big idea problems ask you to let go of control. Oof. That one's tough, isn't it? But think about it. We hold on to the illusion that we can control everything, that if we just worry enough or plan enough, we can force outcomes to go our way. But real freedom comes when you let go and trust that a higher wisdom, a greater intelligence is guiding you. Consider this, you're on a river, sitting in a canoe. You've been paddling upstream against the current, fighting and struggling. That's how most of us live when we're trying to control everything. But what if you put down the paddle and allowed the river to carry you? What if you trusted that the current knows where it's going? When you surrender, you don't give up, you give over. You give over to the flow of life, and that's where the magic happens. Another hook, when you surrender, you make space for miracles. I know it can sound abstract, but think about the last time you finally let go of something you were clinging to. Maybe you were trying desperately to make a relationship work, but the more you tried, the worse it got. The moment you released control, did you notice how things began to flow? Maybe the relationship healed or a better one came into your life. That's the gift of stepping through the spiritual doorway of surrender. Life starts to flow in ways that your limited human mind could never have orchestrated. Problems are also here to awaken you to your true self. So many of us live as if we're disconnected from the divine, from our own inner power. We forget that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. But challenges have a way of waking us up, reminding us of who we really are. They strip away the illusions and ego and push us to look inward for strength. You discover reserves of courage and resilience you never knew you had. Here's a real attention grabber. You are always stronger than the challenge that's in front of you. Always. Now imagine facing a health scare. It's frightening and your first instinct is to let fear and worry consume you. But what if this experience was asking you to treat your body as a sacred temple, to finally honor and nourish it in ways you've neglected? What if it was an invitation to heal old emotional wounds, to forgive, to let go of bitterness that has been stored in your cells? Sometimes our bodies are speaking the language of the soul, calling us to make peace with ourselves. I want to share a practice you can use the moment you face a problem. Pause, take a deep breath, place your hand over your heart, and ask, what is the higher perspective here? What is this situation teaching me? You may not get an answer right away, but just asking the question invites grace in. It opens the spiritual doorway. Now, stay with me here. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. No, it's about acknowledging the pain, the struggle, and still choosing to see it through a spiritual lens. It's about recognizing that every problem is a gift in disguise, even if the wrapping paper looks pretty awful at first. Here's a little wisdom nugget to ponder. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens in the discomfort, in the stretch, in the challenge. Problems stretch us. They force us to become who we're meant to be. And when you embrace them as opportunities, your whole experience of life changes. You move from being a victim to being a creator. You shift from asking, why is this happening to me? To what is this teaching me? That shift is life-changing. And let's get practical. If you're facing a conflict with someone, instead of reacting from ego, ask yourself, what would love do here? If you're feeling blocked in your career, what if you viewed this period as a chance to realign with your true purpose, to discover what lights your soul on fire? Problems are invitations to go inward and upward. Another hook, what if every obstacle was a signpost pointing you toward your true path? Let's wrap up this moment together with a powerful visualization. Close your eyes for a second. See yourself standing before a massive, heavy door. On the other side of that door is the gift, the breakthrough you've been seeking. The key to that door is your willingness to see the problem differently. It's your willingness to step through, to elevate your perspective, to choose growth over comfort. As you turn the key, the door swings open and the light pours in. You step through stronger, wiser, and more spiritually awake. Every challenge, every problem is an invitation to rise higher. Remember, you are equipped for this. Trust in your divine nature, let go of resistance, and watch how life transforms. Your spirit already knows the way out. Let that phrase wash over you for a moment. Right here, right now, even as you face that problem weighing on your mind, there's a part of you that already has the solution. There's a part of you that knows, with a certainty beyond logic, how to guide you forward. Beneath the chatter of your worries and doubts, beneath the storm of anxiety, there lies a stillness, a wellspring of infinite wisdom. Your spirit is tuned into that wisdom. It's always there, quietly, lovingly whispering, trust me, I know the way. Think about that. The idea that your spirit is already connected to everything you need to know, every answer, every insight, every next step. It's not something you have to search for outside of yourself. It's not something someone else holds, it's already within you. And the only reason we sometimes feel lost, feel disconnected, is because we let the noise of the world drown out that still small voice. Here's a hook to capture your attention. Silence is where your power lives. When was the last time you truly embraced silence? See, we live in a world obsessed with noise. We're addicted to the hum of notifications, the constant chatter of thoughts, the endless distractions pulling us away from ourselves. But your spirit, the source of your deepest wisdom, lives in the quiet spaces. It's there in the pause between breaths. It's there when you're lying under the stars, feeling the vastness of the universe. It's there in the stillness when you close your eyes and let go of the chaos. Now, here's a question for you when you're facing a tough decision. Do you immediately seek advice from everyone around you, hoping they'll have the answer? Or do you take a moment to go inward? Because here's the thing, no one outside of you has a clearer connection to your truth than you do. Your spirit already knows. But to hear it, you have to be willing to be still, to quiet the noise, and to trust. Here's a little practice for when you feel stuck. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what does my spirit want me to know right now? Then wait. Don't rush. Don't force an answer. Just wait. Sometimes the response comes as a gentle feeling, a knowing, or an unexpected moment of clarity. Other times it might take a while, and that's okay. Trust the process. The wisdom will emerge when you're ready to hear it. Here's an impactful truth to hold on to. Answers come when you make peace with not needing them right away. Let me say that again. Sometimes you have to surrender the need to know. You have to let go of the struggle, the pushing, and the forcing. Because when you do, that's when your spirit can finally speak. Think of it this way. Imagine you're in a pool, splashing, trying to stay afloat, panicking that you're going to sink. All that thrashing is exhausting you, but here's the spiritual secret: you're in water that can hold you effortlessly. You don't have to fight. You just have to relax, trust, and allow yourself to float. Your spirit is like that water, always ready to carry you, but you've got to stop fighting and start trusting. Another hook for you: relax into the wisdom of your own being. How beautiful is that? Let me share a story. Years ago, a friend of mine faced a heart-wrenching breakup. Her world felt shattered. She did what most of us would do. She overthought, worried, and tried to find ways to fix the pain. But nothing worked. It wasn't until she sat in stillness, tears streaming down her face, and asked her spirit for guidance that she finally found peace. In that quiet moment, she heard the words, "Let yourself heal." Trust in this ending as the beginning of something greater. And while her mind struggled with those words, her heart knew they were true. Her spirit had always known the way. Now let's talk about that still small voice. It's subtle. It doesn't shout over your fears. It whispers in the quiet moments. It's the gentle nudge you feel when something doesn't align with your truth. It's the wave of calm that washes over you when you make the choice your spirit is guiding you toward, even if it doesn't make logical sense to your mind. That voice is pure love, pure knowing. Here's a powerful reminder: your spirit never leads you with fear. It guides you with love, with trust, with a sense of peace, even if the path it points you toward feels uncertain. Fear comes from the ego, from the part of you that believes you're separate from the divine, that you have to figure everything out alone. But your spirit, it knows you're connected to the universe, to a divine intelligence that is always working for you, never against you. Let's get even more practical. If you're facing a challenge, maybe a career setback, a health scare, or a strained relationship, notice the difference between the voice of fear and the voice of your spirit. Fear says you're stuck. This is hopeless. Your spirit says there's a higher way. Trust that this experience is unfolding for your highest good. Fear says panic, control, fix it right now. Your spirit says breathe, let go, and be patient. Another hook for you to ponder patience is the spiritual art of knowing that what you seek is already making its way to you. Now let's dig deeper. Why do we struggle to trust that inner wisdom? Why do we doubt that our spirit knows the way? It comes down to conditioning. We've been taught to value logic over intuition, to seek answers from experts instead of our own souls. But intuition, my friends, is the language of the spirit. It's the direct line to that infinite wisdom we're all connected to. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you trusted your intuition, even when it didn't make sense? Maybe it led you to take a different route home, and you avoided traffic or an accident. Maybe it nudged you to call a friend only to discover they needed to hear your voice in that exact moment. Those aren't coincidences. They're the whispers of your spirit guiding you. One of the most profound shifts you can make in your life is to start honoring that inner guidance. Start seeing your intuition as your greatest ally, your clearest compass. It's not some woo-woo-woo concept, it's real, it's powerful, and it's yours. Here's a thought-provoking hook. What if you trusted your spirit as much as you trust your GPS? Imagine you're driving with your GPS and it says, turn left, you don't question it, you just follow. But when your spirit nudges you, you doubt, second guess, hesitate. Why? Because we've been trained to think that logic is supreme. But your spirit has access to a higher kind of knowing, a view that goes beyond what your mind can see. Let's go deeper with a quick visualization. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath and imagine your mind as a stormy ocean. Waves crashing, full of noise. Beneath those waves, there's a serene, calm layer of water. That's where your spirit lives. Picture yourself sinking below the storm, down into that stillness. Feel the peace, the wisdom waiting for you there. This is your natural state. This is the part of you that knows. Another story, a woman I know was at a crossroads, debating a major career move. Her mind was full of what ifs and worst case scenarios. She couldn't decide. One day she decided to sit by the ocean, closed her eyes, and asked her spirit, what is the right path for me? In that quiet, she felt a deep sense of peace around one option. It didn't make sense to her mind, but she trusted it. And that path led to opportunities and growth she could never have imagined. Her spirit knew. It always did. Here's a key point. The answers you seek are rarely in the noise, they're in the quiet. So how do we cultivate this connection to our spirit? It's simpler than you think. Start with silence. 5 minutes in the morning before the world wakes up, before your mind starts its marathon of thoughts. Just breathe, listen, and be. You might not hear anything profound at first, but over time you'll feel more in tune with that deeper part of yourself. Another practical tip whenever you're faced with a problem, instead of jumping into action, pause. Say to yourself, I don't need to figure this out right now. My spirit will show me the way, and then go about your day. The answer may come when you least expect it, in the shower, during a walk, or in a dream. Trust that process. Here's a powerful way to end our time together. Remember that your spirit isn't separate from you, it is you. It's the highest version of you, the part that knows your purpose, your path, your potential. When you trust it, you're not giving up control, you're aligning with the highest flow of life. Trust in that still, small voice. It's the voice of love, the voice of infinite wisdom, and it will never lead you astray. Stop struggling with the problem and start embracing the solution within. Let me say that again because it might be the key that unlocks the next door in your life. Stop struggling with the problem. See, so many of us are in a daily wrestling match with our challenges. We fight them, resist them, push against them, as if our force and frustration could magically make them disappear. But here's the paradox: the more you wrestle with an obstacle, the stronger it becomes. It's like quicksand. The harder you fight, the deeper you sink. Pause for a moment and think about the energy you're putting into your struggles. Imagine this: you're trying to keep a beach ball submerged underwater. You press it down with all your strength. Your arms are shaking, and every ounce of your focus is on not letting that ball pop up. But what happens the moment you let go? Effortlessly, it rises, it bobs to the surface, no struggle at all. That's what we're talking about here. The instant you stop fighting the problem, you create space for the solution to naturally reveal itself. Now here's a powerful hook to keep in mind: what you resist persists, what you embrace transforms. How often do we get caught up in this cycle of resistance? Think about a time when you were facing a challenge. Maybe it was a work deadline, a disagreement in your relationship, or a health scare. Your mind was probably running a mile a minute, playing out worst-case scenarios. You may have lost sleep, felt anxiety coursing through your veins, or even snapped at people you care about. But let me tell you something profound: you are never going to think your way out of a problem that fear created. You have to rise above the problem and meet it from a higher level of awareness. And here's a surprising insight: the solution is always within you. Yes, you. Not in some expert or in the next self-help book, not in a future version of yourself right here, right now. There is a deep well of wisdom inside you, but you've got to stop stirring up the water with worry and doubt to see clearly. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're in the middle of a chaotic storm, trying to navigate your boat through rough seas. The more you panic and steer against the waves, the more out of control things become. But if you can take a moment to stop struggling, to drop the anchor of your presence and trust that the storm will pass, you will notice that there is a place of stillness within the chaos. And from that place of calm, you'll have the clarity to see the way forward. Here's a hook to really make you think most of your problems aren't problems, they're simply your resistance to what is. Picture this: you wake up in the morning and immediately your mind starts racing. The bills that need to be paid, the argument you had yesterday, the meeting you're dreading, it feels like life is coming at you full force. But instead of reacting from that place of resistance, what if you embraced the moment as it is? What if instead of labeling everything as a problem, you softened and asked, what is life trying to teach me right now? You'd be amazed at how the answers start to appear when you stop pushing and start listening. I want to share something deeply personal that will make this real for you. Years ago, I was struggling with a career decision. I was waking up every day feeling like I was swimming against a tide of uncertainty. I kept asking myself, what if I make the wrong choice? What if I fail? The struggle consumed me. But one day, in a moment of stillness, I asked a different question. Instead of wrestling with the problem, I said, what would my higher self do? The answer came not from my fearful, limited self, but from a place of inner knowing. The weight lifted and the right path became clear. It wasn't about figuring out the perfect answer, it was about letting the answer come to me. Here's another powerful thought: solutions flow into a mind that is open, quiet, and receptive. We live in a world that worships busyness and constant doing, but true wisdom comes in moments of stillness. It's in that quiet space, when you let go of the struggle, that inspiration whispers to you. Think of the greatest ideas, the moments of true clarity you've had in your life. Weren't they born in a space of calm when you weren't trying so hard? Maybe they came to you while you were on a peaceful walk, or in the shower, or in that dreamlike state just before you fall asleep. That's not a coincidence. That's your higher self speaking. So how do you actually stop struggling and open up to solutions? Let's get practical. First, recognize when you're in struggle mode. It feels like tension in your body, a tightness in your chest, or a racing mind. The moment you notice this, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, and as you exhale, imagine releasing the grip of the problem. Visualize the struggle dissolving like mist in the morning sun. Just this act of breathing can create a tiny space where peace can enter. Here's a short but powerful exercise you can try. Take a few minutes to meditate on the phrase, I am open to divine solutions. Repeat it gently, like a mantra. Feel the energy shift. You'll notice that as you focus on being open, ideas will start to bubble up effortlessly. It's like tuning into a higher frequency, one where everything you need is waiting for you. Here's something to reflect on: the universe is always conspiring in your favor, but you have to let it. We've all experienced those serendipitous moments when things just seem to click. You meet the right person at the right time, or an unexpected opportunity lands in your lap. That's the universe working with you, but it can only do so when you're not fighting against it. When you surrender the need to control every detail, you allow the universe to step in and do what it does best: create miracles. Consider this story. There's a well-known parable about a man who was lost in the desert, dying of thirst. He stumbled upon an old water pump, and next to it was a small jug of water with a note. The note said, "Use this water to prime the pump." trust that it will bring forth an endless flow of water, the man was faced with a choice. He could drink the small jug of water and quench his thirst for a moment, or he could trust, let go of his fear, and prime the pump. With trembling hands, he poured the water into the pump. At first, nothing happened, but as he kept pumping, a gush of cool, life-saving water flowed out abundantly. This story isn't just about trust, it's about letting go of your small, limited solutions to make space for something far greater. The solutions in your life can only flow when you release your grip on scarcity and embrace the infinite abundance available to you. Here's another engaging idea. You are the space in which the problem and the solution both exist. Which one are you choosing to energize? Your attention is powerful. If you keep feeding energy to the problem, analyzing it, complaining about it, worrying over it, you're essentially keeping it alive. But if you can shift your focus even a little toward possibilities, toward solutions, you'll notice a miraculous change. This isn't about ignoring reality, it's about choosing a higher reality, one that's based on faith, creativity, and inner guidance. So let's circle back to this idea of embracing the solution within. It requires you to trust. Trust that you are not separate from the divine intelligence that created the universe. Trust that you are inherently worthy of receiving guidance, even when you don't have all the answers yet. This trust is the fertile soil where solutions can take root and grow. Another practical step: start each day by asking, what would you have me do, Spirit, or how can I serve today? This simple practice shifts your energy from resistance to receptivity. Instead of starting your day tangled in struggle, you begin it by being open to solutions that come from a place of love and wisdom. Here's a bold statement: the greatest solutions are born when you let go of needing to be the one who fixes everything. It's freeing, isn't it? To realize that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Your only job is to stay connected to your source, to remain aligned with the energy of love and trust. From that place, inspired action will naturally flow. You'll know when to move forward, when to wait, and when to let go. It becomes effortless, like a dance rather than a struggle. So stop fighting the tide. Stop paddling upstream. Lean back, relax into the river of your life, and let it carry you to places more beautiful than you ever imagined. Let go of the struggle, embrace the solution, and watch as life unfolds with grace and ease. The universe doesn't place problems in your life, it places opportunities for growth. Now just pause for a moment and let that idea land. Take it in. What if every challenge you faced was never meant to hurt or hinder you, but was instead a soul-level assignment? Yes, an assignment, a mission your spirit chose to help you grow and evolve, to help you remember who you really are and expand into your highest self. Consider this life is not random. Every event, every person, every circumstance is woven into the tapestry of your existence with divine purpose. There's a plan, even if it doesn't always make sense in the moment. And those struggles you're facing, they're not obstacles designed to keep you stuck. They're invitations. Invitations to connect deeper, to expand wider, and to rise higher. Think about the last time something in your life fell apart. Maybe you lost a job, or a relationship ended, or a dream you were clinging to seemed to slip right through your fingers. At the time, it might have felt like life was punishing you, right? Like the universe had it out for you, but look closer, dig deeper. Wasn't that moment also the beginning of something else? Something better? Maybe it was the push you needed to discover your passion, to realize your own strength, or to find a love that aligned with who you really are. Here's a quick hook for you. What if life was always conspiring for you, not against you? You see, problems are not placed in your path to make you feel powerless or defeated. They are here to make you powerful and whole. They are soul-level assignments, carefully crafted to elevate your spirit. They are here to teach you the lessons your soul is ready to learn. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, only hands you what you are ready to handle, even when you feel overwhelmed, even when you think, I can't do this. There is a part of you, a divine, unshakable part, that is perfectly equipped for this experience. Let's make it real. Think of a time when you faced what you thought was an insurmountable problem. It could have been a financial crisis, a painful breakup, or a health scare. At that moment, it felt like the end, like life had pulled the rug out from under you. But here's where the magic happens over time. You found strength you never knew you had. You grew, you learned, you evolved. That crisis became a turning point, a catalyst for your transformation. Here's another soul-gripping thought. Problems are the universe's way of getting your attention. They are wake-up calls. And you know what? Sometimes we need those wake-up calls. We get comfortable, we get complacent, and we lose touch with our inner purpose. Problems jolt us awake. They force us to go within, to ask the deep questions. What do I really want? Who am I really meant to be? Where have I been living out of alignment with my highest truth? Now, take this idea in your soul is on a journey. A magnificent, transformative journey. And on this journey, you're not here to play small or to stay the same. You're here to evolve, to grow, to become the fullest expression of who you are. That's why you incarnated. That's why you're here in this life. So every so-called problem is actually a stepping stone, a doorway, a chance for you to ascend to your next level. Another hook to keep in mind, every problem is a portal to higher awareness. Consider this, there are spiritual laws governing our lives, and one of those laws is that the universe is always expanding, always growing. And since you are a part of this universe, your soul has an innate desire to grow and expand too. But growth often requires pressure. It requires breaking through old patterns, shedding old beliefs, and stepping into the unknown. That's where problems come in. They create the tension needed for transformation. They push you to evolve. Let's take a moment to look at nature. Think about how a seed grows. First, it has to be buried in darkness. It has to break open, sometimes in violent, chaotic ways for the sprout to push through the soil. It faces obstacles, rocks, dirt, pressure, but it pushes through because it's programmed to grow. You are just like that seed. Your soul is wired for growth, and sometimes that means breaking open and pushing through the darkness. I've got a question for you. What if the pressure you're feeling right now is shaping you into something extraordinary? Think of a caterpillar. It literally dissolves in the cocoon before becoming a butterfly. It doesn't just grow wings overnight. It goes through a messy, uncomfortable, and even painful process of transformation. Problems are like your cocoon. They feel dark, they feel confining, but they're preparing you for your wings. They're preparing you for flight. Let's ground this with a story. There's a beautiful account of a young man who felt completely lost after his business failed. He was deep in debt, his relationships were strained, and he felt like a failure. But he later realized that this crushing defeat was actually a divine redirection. It forced him to reevaluate his life, to tap into his spiritual gifts, and to find a path that truly lit up his soul. Today, he's thriving in ways he never thought possible, all because that so-called problem cracked him open to his true purpose. And here's a crucial point: the universe doesn't put you through anything that your soul hasn't agreed to. You chose this journey, you chose these experiences, even the difficult ones, because your soul knew they would bring you closer to your highest self. It's like signing up for a master class in life. You wouldn't enroll in a course that teaches you nothing, right? Your soul chose a curriculum that would challenge you, grow you, and bring you into alignment with your divine nature. Another small but potent hook: what if every breakdown was just a setup for a breakthrough? Now, let's talk about connecting with your higher self. Every problem you face is designed to do just that, to pull you away from the illusions of ego and back into the truth of who you really are. The ego wants to keep you small, to keep you small, to keep you in fear, in doubt, in limitation. But your higher self knows the truth. It knows you are infinite, that you are love, that you are connected to the source of all creation. When problems arise, they are opportunities to shift from fear to faith, from limitation to limitless, from ego to essence. Here's a practical way to work with this. When a problem shows up, instead of resisting it or fighting against it, sit with it. Ask, what is this here to teach me? How can I grow through this sometimes? Just asking the question is enough to bring a sense of peace. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to be open. That openness, that willingness to learn and grow is where the shift happens. Here's a thought to contemplate: what you resist persists, but what you embrace transforms. Resistance keeps us stuck, but when we embrace our challenges as spiritual assignments, something incredible happens. We stop seeing ourselves as victims and start seeing ourselves as powerful creators. We realize that life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. We reclaim our power, we align with our purpose. Now think about how many times you've seen this play out in your own life. Maybe you had to lose something to gain something better. Maybe you had to experience a closed door to be guided to one that was wide open. Or perhaps you had to be stripped of everything you thought you wanted to discover what your soul truly desired. One last hook to ponder: the universe isn't testing you, it's trusting you, trusting that you are ready for this next level. So take a deep breath and know this: whatever problem you're facing right now, it's not here to break you. It's here to build you, to shape you, to bring you closer to the magnificence of who you really are. Trust the process. Trust your soul. Trust that there is a spiritual solution already within you, just waiting to be revealed. The universe is holding you, guiding you, and believing in your infinite potential. Always. You know, there's a spiritual solution to every problem. And when I say that, I mean it in the deepest, most profound sense. You have the ability right now to dissolve the troubles that weigh you down. It's not about doing more, striving harder, or fighting your way through. No, it's about aligning with peace. It's about shifting your vibration so that solutions flow to you as naturally as the breath you're breathing. Let's get right to it, align with peace, and watch the problem dissolve. Imagine you're facing a challenge. Maybe it's a conflict with someone close to you. Tension, misunderstandings, harsh words exchanged. Your mind wants to fight, to defend, to argue. But what if, instead, you took a step back and chose to become the embodiment of peace? What if, instead of reacting, you went inward, found that calm center, and let that be your response? Let me put it this way, the answer you're looking for is not out there. It's not in the argument or in the struggle. The answer is in the calm within you. Think about that. How often have you heard, "Be the change you wish to see in the world"? It's not just a catchy phrase, it's a profound spiritual truth. Be peace and you will experience peace. Be calm and solutions will unfold effortlessly. Here's a quick hook. What if the power to dissolve your problem lies in doing the exact opposite of what your fear is telling you? Imagine a still lake on a calm, clear day. The surface is smooth like glass, reflecting the beauty of the sky. But when you throw a rock into that lake splash, the ripples distort the reflection. That's what happens when you let fear, anger, or anxiety ripple through your being. Your true essence, which is naturally peaceful and reflective, gets disturbed. But when you return to stillness, the reflection becomes clear again. And here's the surprising part. When you find that inner peace, the problems that seem so real, so solid, so heavy, begin to lose their grip on you. Let's talk about vibration. Yes, vibration. Everything in this universe vibrates, including your thoughts and emotions. When you're in a state of stress, your energy is scattered, chaotic, you're vibrating on the level of the problem, and you'll find that solutions feel far away, unreachable. But when you align with peace, you elevate your energy. You come into resonance with higher, clearer vibrations where answers live. Here's another hook. What if every solution you've ever needed has been waiting for you, but it's vibrating at a higher frequency than your worry? Picture this, you're tuning a radio. If you're tuned into static, all you hear is noise. But if you adjust the dial just a little, you find the right frequency and suddenly crystal clear music. That's what aligning with peace does. It tunes you into the frequency of solutions. The universe is full of music, of harmony, of perfect resolutions to every problem you think you have. You just have to adjust your inner dial. Let's make this practical. Say you're dealing with a financial crisis, bills are due, and you're feeling the pressure. Your first instinct might be to panic, to think about lack and how there's never enough. But that energy of fear only attracts more lack. Instead, take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Imagine the feeling of peace, the sensation of everything working out in perfect timing. Allow yourself to dwell in the feeling of abundance, even for a moment. When you do this, you shift from a vibration of scarcity to one of trust and plenty. And trust me, miracles start happening when you shift. Another hook, you don't need to know how the problem will be solved. Your job is to align with peace and let the universe handle the details. It's all about releasing the need to control. When you're in a state of control, you're tense, resistant. You block the natural flow of life. But when you surrender, when you relax into the present moment and trust, you open the floodgates for solutions. You allow life to move in ways you couldn't have predicted. Because the universe, call it God, source, divine intelligence, whatever you prefer, knows how to take care of you better than your ego ever could. Here's a story for you. I once knew someone who lost a job unexpectedly. It was a huge shock, and the initial reaction was sheer panic. Thoughts of, what am I going to do? How will I pay the bills? But instead of letting that fear take over, this person made a conscious choice to align with peace. They spent time in meditation, visualizing abundance and focusing on gratitude. Within weeks, an unexpected opportunity came along: better pay, better conditions, and more fulfillment. What looked like a problem was actually a redirection, a blessing in disguise. That's what happens when you align with peace. You become a magnet for miracles. Another quick hook to keep you engaged. What if your life could change drastically, not by working harder, but by feeling more peace? Now, I know some of you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I really align with peace when the world feels like it's crashing down? It starts with a simple breath. Yes, right here, right now. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your body relax. You see, your breath is your anchor. It connects you to the present moment where all is well. The more you practice returning to your breath, the more you condition yourself to return to peace. Think of a storm. In the middle of the fiercest storm, there's always a calm center, the eye of the storm. That's where you want to be, even when life around you is chaotic. The eye of the storm is your inner sanctuary of peace. And when you live from that place, the outer chaos doesn't have the same power over you. Another hook piece is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of a higher perspective. And let me tell you, finding that higher perspective is everything. When you're at peace, you're not looking at your problems through the lens of fear. You're looking through the lens of love, of possibility. Your intuition gets stronger. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. You become a channel for divine wisdom. How powerful is that? Here's something to remember. Your mind might try to convince you that peace is weakness, that you need to fight, resist, push. But real strength comes from being unshakable, from standing in your peace no matter what. Gandhi changed an entire nation with the power of peace. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired movements with peaceful strength. Peace is the most powerful force there is. Think about a time when you were really upset. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic, or you had a disagreement with a loved one. Your heart was racing, your mind was spinning. In that state, did you feel clear? Did you feel connected to your highest self? No, but when you calmed down, when you returned to your center, the answers came. Solutions appeared. That's the magic of aligning with peace. Another attention grabber for you, the storm may rage, but you have the power to be the calm within it. And don't underestimate the impact this has on those around you. When you align with peace, you influence everyone in your orbit. Your energy radiates, people feel it. Your calm presence can transform a tense situation, can soothe anxiety in others. It's like being the lighthouse in a stormy sea. You shine and others find their way back to shore. One of the greatest acts of service you can do for the world is to be an embodiment of peace. You're not only solving your problems, but you're also contributing to the collective vibration of harmony and love. So let's practice right here, right now. Close your eyes. Feel your heart beating. Slow down your breath. Feel a wave of peace wash over you. Imagine your problem dissolving in this calm energy. Feel the relief, the freedom. Stay in that feeling as long as you can. The answers you're seeking, they're already here in this place of peace. You just have to be still enough to hear them. Let's keep leaning into this, because the more you practice, the more your life will be filled with grace, with ease, with divine flow. Peace is your natural state. Return to it and watch how your world transforms. Imagine this: you're holding onto a rope, desperately clinging, your knuckles turning white from the tension. That rope represents fear. And the tighter you hold onto it, the more you become entangled in it. Fear grips us, paralyzes us, blinds us to possibilities. But when you release your hold and shift your focus from fear to trust, miracles start to unfold. Shift your focus from fear to trust, and you'll find miracles on the other side. Let that phrase wash over you. Miracles are not as elusive as they seem. They're not reserved for the few or the lucky. Miracles exist on the other side of the door, and the key to that door is trust. Deep, unwavering, soul-level trust in the universe, in yourself, in the divine flow of life. Now, let me ask you something. How many times have you faced a problem that seemed so massive, so unsolvable, that it felt like a mountain sitting squarely on your chest? Maybe it was a financial burden, a health scare, a relationship falling apart. fear takes over in those moments, doesn't it? Fear tells you there's no way out, this is too much, you're stuck. But what if instead of tightening your grip on that fear, you chose to pivot just for a moment and ask, what if I trusted that there's a higher plan at work here? Here's your hook: fear makes problems grow. Trust makes them shrink. Think about that. When you focus on fear, your energy contracts. You can feel it in your body, can't you? Your chest tightens, your breath becomes shallow, your mind races, and solutions feel far away. But when you shift your focus to trust, your energy expands, your breath deepens, your heart opens, and your mind clears. In that space of trust, the miraculous becomes possible. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great in theory, but how do I actually do this? Let's break it down. Start by recognizing that fear is a conditioned response. It's natural, yes, it's how we've been wired for survival. But just because it's natural doesn't mean it's our highest truth. Trust, on the other hand, is your soul's natural state. It's the place where miracles are born. So how do you get there? By making a conscious choice. When fear arises, acknowledge it. Don't suppress it. Don't fight it. Say to yourself, I see you, fear. I know you're trying to protect me, but I'm choosing to feel the difference in energy between resisting fear and gently acknowledging it. You're not trying to battle fear, you're simply shifting your focus. Here's a little hook for you: what you focus on expands. So what are you feeding, fear or trust? Let me share a story. A woman once came to me feeling overwhelmed by financial difficulties. She was gripped by fear, convinced that she'd lose everything. We talked about shifting her focus. Instead of obsessing over lack, I encouraged her to practice radical trust. I asked her to do something bold every morning. She would thank the universe for her abundance, even though her outer reality screamed scarcity. She trusted that she was supported, even when it seemed impossible. Guess what happened? Opportunities she couldn't have planned for began to appear. Friends reached out with offers to help. She found unexpected ways to generate income. Her situation transformed. The shift wasn't about denying reality, it was about choosing to put her faith in a higher reality, a reality of divine support and abundance. Now, here's an exercise you can do when you're feeling consumed by a problem. Take a moment to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, visualize fear leaving your body. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves represent trust. With each breath, let yourself be carried by that ocean, feeling the support beneath you. You don't have to struggle. The water holds you. Remember, this hook: miracles happen when you stop swimming against the current and allow the flow to carry you. Sometimes we think trust is passive, that it's about doing nothing, but trust is active. It's a powerful, dynamic energy. It's saying, I'm willing to move forward even though I don't have all the answers. It's choosing to believe that the universe has your back, even when you can't see how. That kind of trust is magnetic. It draws solutions to you because you're no longer radiating the energy of fear and lack. Let's talk about the energy of love and how it plays into this. Love and trust are twins, they walk hand in hand. When you choose love, fear cannot exist in the same space. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness doesn't fight back, it simply vanishes. Problems, too, can't survive in the presence of love and trust. They shrink, dissolve, or transform. A powerful truth: what seems impossible becomes possible in the energy of love. Imagine a relationship problem. Maybe you're fighting with someone you love and it feels like there's no way to reconcile. Fear tells you to protect yourself, to close off, to hold grudges. But if you shift into the energy of love, everything changes. You soften, and in that softness you become receptive. Receptive to healing, to understanding, to forgiveness. One of my favorite quotes is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's a spiritual law. Your perception creates your reality. When you choose to see your problems through the lens of love and trust, you invite the miraculous. Now, let me take you back to a moment in my life. I once faced a situation that felt completely hopeless. A project I was deeply invested in was falling apart. My instinct was to spiral into fear, but I remembered this truth: I had the power to shift my focus. So I did something that felt radical. I sat down and imagined the outcome I desired, not the one I feared. I infused that vision with trust, and I let go. Within days, unexpected help arrived. What seemed impossible became possible. That's the magic of shifting from fear to trust. It opens doors where there were only walls. It creates pathways where there were only dead ends. It takes what seems unchangeable and reveals the miracle waiting to unfold. Another hook for you: the universe is a mirror reflecting your deepest beliefs. So what are you projecting, trust or fear? Let's talk about the power of affirmations. Words carry energy. When you find yourself in a fearful state, speak words of trust. I am safe. I am supported. I trust that the universe is guiding me. Repeat these affirmations until you feel them resonate in your heart. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something you don't. It's about inviting a new, higher belief to take root. Here's something to ponder. How would you show up in your life if you truly trusted that everything is unfolding perfectly for your highest good? Would you worry less? Would you take more risks? Would you finally let go of what no longer serves you? Living from that space of trust is liberating. It's life-changing. Think about this: how often do we pray or ask the universe for help, but then immediately doubt that help will come? It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it's growing. Trust means planting the seed and watering it with faith, knowing that the universe is handling the rest. Can you feel the power in that? Can you feel the shift? Another story: a friend of mine once lost a job she loved. She was devastated and fear took over. How will I survive? What will I do? She kept asking. But then she chose to trust that there was a bigger plan at work. She took time to reflect, to pray, to listen to her inner guidance. Within months, she found a new position that not only paid more, but also fulfilled her in ways she couldn't have imagined. Her loss turned into her greatest blessing. Problems are opportunities in disguise. They're chances for us to deepen our trust, to lean into love, to remember that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. They remind us that our true power doesn't come from controlling everything around us, but from surrendering to the divine flow of life. Here's a closing thought: to hold on to every problem is a platform for you to practice trust. It's an invitation to align with love, to rise above fear, and to experience the miracle waiting on the other side. Your job is to let go, to shift your focus, and to trust that you are always guided, always supported, and always loved. Thanks for joining me today. If you found value in this discussion on topic, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more motivational content. Share your thoughts in the comments below.